Anyway, enough of that sort of sappy stuff. Let's get on with the story, shall we? Um, right, Far Harbor. It was a strange place, Danse. They had this radioactive fog that would come and go, and I guess over time it would come and go more or less, and right now it was everywhere. And they had to use things called fog condensers to even make it livable. And it was, you go into these fog, it's radioactive fog, and there was monsters that lived in the fog. You think the red scorpions and stuff here are bad? Well, there was some worse things in the fog there, and I'm sure we'll visit Far Harbor sometime and you'll get to meet them yourself. They were very interesting. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Right, so we got off the boat at Far Harbor. We met Captain Avery. This lady was basically in charge of the settlement, which is called Far Harbor. We also met Alan the Jerk, who seemed to like, he really hated the children of Adam that were on the island. And he wasn't so fond of synths either, as I recall. But he was the kind of guy who hates everything except himself, if you know what I mean. And then there was the mariner. That's a sad tale in of itself. But, well, anyway, I can't tell you about every little thing because we'll be here for hours. And I don't know if Ronnie will be able to keep anybody from coming down here for that long, because I did ask her, for a little quiet time down here. Okay, so anyway, we arrived at Far Harbor. Immediately, Captain Avery asked Nick and I to help with the defense of what they call the wall. And there was basically some of the fog creatures coming in and attacking. So we helped out with that, and we helped out with a few other things as well. And along the way, we learned that there was 3 factions on that island. There was Far Harbor, which of course was the settlers that had basically been pushed back off of the rest of the island to Far Harbor. Acadia, which I told you about in the second holotape, which is the refuge of the synths. And their leader wants peace with both other factions. And then there was the Children of the Atom. And as I came to learn, they basically wanted everybody in Far Harbor, the humans, dead. The synths, they had, and they didn't really care, as far as I could tell, about the synths there, but anyway. So that's what I picked up there. After we helped out, Captain Avery told us that old Longfellow, this old guy, would take us to Acadia, which of course was the thing that we were interested in checking out first. So that's where we went. We followed old Longfellow, who is a character. I think when you meet him, you'll find him quite amusing. In a good way. He's a nice old guy. Likes his drink. He took us to Acadia. Through the fog. That was fun. Anyway, the synth refuge of Acadia. I'm sure you've been anxious to hear more details about what it is. It's run by for lack of a better term, a Generation 2.5 synth, like Nick. Mechanical, but with the advanced brain. And his name was Dima. And he considers himself Nick's brother because they were both prototypes of the same kind. And the only difference between them was that Nick was given the recorded memories of a detective from pre-war named Nick Valentine. And Dima was not. Dima had to basically start from scratch himself. And Dima had saved Nick, actually. Nick had forgotten that because I guess they can only record so much in the brains. It only has so much capacity. And Nick had lost that memory that Dima had actually saved Nick from the Institute. And Dima, he wanted peace between all three factions. And he asked us to help out Acadia and help out his lieutenants, Faraday and Chase. Well, I don't know if he called them lieutenants, but you know, that's what it meant. And then after that, recover his memory archives, which were memories he had deliberately recorded and offloaded from his consciousness, I guess, in the old submarine that they'd given to the Children of the Atom as sort of a peace offering between the two factions, before they moved to Acadia, which was an old, I think, observatory on the island. Well, Nick was very shocked, to say the least, to meet Dima, who sounds a lot like Nick, by the way, as well as looking like him. Well, I imagine originally he looked a lot like now he looks less like Nick. But Nick learned a lot about his past there. Hopefully he'll be able to remember this for a while. That's kind of strange, thinking he can only have so much in his memories. Anyway, getting sidetracked again, aren't I? Right, so we decided, Nick and I, well, I guess mostly it was me, that we needed to basically become friendly with all three of the factions and see if we could, like Dima, I approved of his desire to broker peace between all three of them, because I did not want to have to wipe out another faction, another group of people, however misguided. Unless they're raiders, then I have no problem. But in order to do that, we had to be on a friendly footing with everybody. So we did some things for Acadia. We helped out Faraday by getting some disk memory drives that he could use for Dima, to put his memories into, so he had more at his fingertips. He's actually, he can't go anywhere.
Finding a quiet spot in the Commonwealth is a rare occurrence.
Yes, it is, and I hope it's quiet enough that you're able to hear what I'm saying. But yeah, Dima, he was connected to the machines, the memory, and he can't actually leave, which is kind of a disadvantage when you think about it. But maybe he can disconnect himself if he really needs to, but that means losing a lot of his memories. Anyway, so we helped out Faraday with that. We helped out Chase. We had to find a lost synth, somebody that was supposed to be coming to the refuge. Unfortunately, that did not end well. The synth had run out into the fog, and, well, there's a lot of bad things out in the fog. But after we did all that, Dima then said that he trusted us, and he wanted us to get some of his important, vital memories out of the old submarine. Apparently, when they left the old submarine, he detached himself and left a lot of the memories there that were older ones that he had offloaded, for various reasons, which he couldn't remember because he'd done that then. And I agreed that we would go and get them. Actually, it turned out there was more than, you couldn't just pick something up and go. Which meant that we now worked out very well. Now we needed to go to the Children of the Atom. And they had named this submarine the Nucleus. And, well, when we went there, we met a fellow named Grand Zela Richter outside, and he said before we could go in, we had to do a quest. I had to go to a waterfall, I had to drink from it, and basically see what transpired. So I did that. I went to this spring alone, without Nick. Or was Nick there? Honestly, I can't even remember now because, well, you'll understand when I explain what happened next. I I'm not sure what was in the water, but it affected me. And I'm not just talking physically, I mean mentally. And thank God it wasn't a permanent change, but in this altered state, I saw a spirit, and it this spirit was not a hallucination, and you'll understand when I get to that point as to why I know it was not a hallucination. This hallucination has been seen by other people. Well, actually, it's not a hallucination. The spirit, pardon me, has been seen by other people, and she was called the Mother of the Fog. And she led me to this place. I guess this was the quest that I had to do. Led me to this place, and I got this kind of a little totem thing to bring back. And once I found it, she vanished, like she was gone. And I returned to normal once I retrieved this item, which was in a highly irradiated area, so I didn't stay there for very long. And we brought this back to the nucleus. And to say the least, they were rather shocked that we came back. And apparently, the fact that I'd seen the Mother of the Fog made me basically a chosen of the. I'm going to call him a god. I don't know if he actually exists. The Mother of the Fog exists because that spirit, which apparently led the children of the atom to the sub in the first place when it was occupied by the synths, Demas synth refuge. And I've totally lost track what I was saying. Alright, well. Sometimes doing that to Danse does that to me. Looking at Danse does that to me, and I'm obviously this explanation is draining me more than I expected. Okay, where was I? Right, Mother of the Fog. We came back, and apparently the fact that I'd seen her, I was told that this meant that I was the chosen of Adam. That's right, that's where I got off on a tangent, because I wasn't sure if Adam actually exists or not. But anyway, that is a mark. They consider that a mark of being chosen of Adam. So that made them decide that I was, A-okay, and I was okay to go into the refuge or into their nucleus and basically join them. Although, you know me, I will join something, but if I find out they're asshats, that's it. So I went into the nucleus. I met another fellow who is from what I can tell, was a big problem, because of course we have met a resolution, which I will be getting to. His name is what the heck was his title? Dang it. High Confessor Tectus. Yes, High Confessor Tectus. His goal in life, apparently, is to wipe all the humans out of Far Harbor. He was the source of all the problems with the children of the atom on Far Harbor. Apparently, the previous High Confessor was not an asshat like he is. So I had to basically do a few little tasks around just to convince everybody that, I had good intentions. So Tectus asked me to spy on a follower, and basically I did, but I did it my own way, and the follower is safe, and Tectus was satisfied. Richter wanted me to hunt down a lady named Sister Gwyneth, who had some kind of weird thing happen to her one day when she decided that Adam didn't exist, and she was now going to worship what she calls the nothingness. It's not that she's worshipping nothing. She's worshipping capital N nothing, if you understand the difference. And I was supposed to kill her, but I did it my own way, and she is off the island, and everybody is happy. And then there was the fellow in the nucleus who was starving himself to death to get closer to Adam. And I was asked to, convince him that perhaps this wasn't the best way to do things. And because I was considered the chosen of Adam, I was able to do that. And so he's now eating. He's not going to die, at least not right away, and not from starvation. So we sorted that out. So after that, and we talked to Tectus again, and he was happy with the way things went, and Richter was happy. So at that point, I decided it was safe to go into the area where the memory archives were of Demas. This was protected by a lot of hardware, not by the children of the Atom, and I suppose Dima must have set it up before he left. But we had to make our way through there, shooting a lot of sentry bots, and there was a lot of hardware flung at us. But we made our way through, right to the point where there was this console. And this console had this sort of a helmet thing that came down when I accessed it, and it literally connected me to Dima's memory archives. It was like I was in it, and it was very surreal, let me tell you. There were blocks, everything was blocky, and I could move some of them, and I had to find the memories that he wanted me to find. Well, I don't know about you, but I need a drink of water here. There is going to be a lot more to tell you. I hope you're not finding this boring, because all of this is leading up to something. Actually, maybe I should, before I have my drink of water, tell you that all the experiences that I'd had, both with Nick meeting his brother, and I've come to understand more, both from Dima and Nick, and another bunch of, well, people who put their brains in robots, which I didn't really talk about, but which was sort of the reverse of a synth, if you think about it. But all those experiences helped me realize more what it must have been like for you to realize that you were a synth. And I know that I can't ever be exactly in your shoes, because I'm not a synth. But I can understand in a way that I don't want to talk about just this moment, but I will. I will later on, once I've finished telling you about Far Harbor, and maybe you will be able to understand a bit more about what it's like to be in my shoes. Because while we can't ever really truly know what it's like to be the other person, I love you, and I want to be able to understand as much as I can. And I think I do, better than I did before I went to Far Harbor. I know it's been so hard for you, Danse. Right, well, I think I'm gonna go and have that drink. Let's see. I hope I brought some water. Didn't even think about that when I convinced Nick to come down here with me. Actually, I would like something to eat too. Oh, that's good. Purified water. I would like some purified water, please. Now my throat doesn't feel so parched. All right. Just give me a moment to gather my thoughts, Danse. Guides, I know I haven't been talking to you, dear advisors, but this is a very important talk that I need to have with Danse, and I'm sorry for the things you have been saying that I haven't been paying attention to you. But once I finish this conversation with Danse, I will talk to you about what you've said. But I need to get this out, and I need to get it out my own way, if that's okay. Thank you for understanding.